Hey, this is Will with Old Man Mountain Biking. We are in my garage. It is literally freezing out here. It's a cool 30-some degrees here in Pennsylvania. Just received my parts from PNW, Pacific Northwest, so we're going to try to install, for the first time, a dropper post. I bought the Rainier IR dropper post, so we're going to try to install it. Hopefully I don't mess up. I'm a little bit nervous, a little anxious about putting this on, so we'll see how it goes. So let's take a quick look at the bike first. It's the Trek Roscoe 6. Bought it only about 2 months ago, ridden a good bit, but here's the thing. I was trying to decide what would be my first upgrade, because this bike is the lower end, got it on sale, so an entryway into mountain biking. It's a solid bike. I'll do a bike check on it later, but I was debating between the wheels, between the dropper post, going tubeless. Decided to, since the wheels are still in good shape, I hate to throw out more money on something where the tires are still in good shape. So once the tires are a little worn out, haven't had it flat yet, once they're worn out, then I'll switch over to tubeless. But for now, we are going to take care of this. Get rid of the seat post and put a dropper post in. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have from PNW. Well, as I said, we're in my garage. I do have a source of heat. We are new to the area, so we just moved into this garage, and as you can see, we kind of moved in and dumped everything. There is literally no organization to this whatsoever. So that is something we need to work on. But that is for when the weather gets cooler. Right now it is about too cold. So let's take a look at what Pacific Northwest sent, and let's get it installed. All right, so here is the PNW dropper post. It is the Rainier IR for your Trek Roscoe. You're gonna have a 31.6 millimeter diameter seat post tube, so you wanna make sure that. Took a little while to figure out the measurements. I went ahead and went with the 150 millimeter drop, so hopefully that will fit, and we'll take a look at that. I did all my measurements. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But here's the Rainier IR dropper post from PNW. They do bikes. So here it is in all its glory. Rainier IR, it's got measurements on the side. There's your minimum. That is the line. You do not want anything, do not want your post sticking up higher than that. If you see that minimum line, then you're going to potentially risk damaging the post and damaging your frame. From PNW components. So let's compare real quick to what it looks like to the actual current seat post. So here's the PNW lined up against it. It's actually a little thinner. I'm a little surprised. It's a little thinner than the stock seat post. And of course it has a good drop. So hopefully we better get this in and it will work well. But before we get there, let's take a look at the lever I bought. So I went ahead and bought the loam lever. There's a lot of good reviews online for this thing. So it does come in with a 22.2 clamp, which is the generic clamp. Also, if you have specific brakes, Shimano or SRAM brakes, then you can get a specific clip that attaches to the brakes, so it definitely cleans up your handlebars. I have the stock Tektro brakes, so I just went ahead with the 22.2 clamp in the gray. So let's take a look. And there she is. So the nice gray, there's the clamp, the set screw, and the actual lever itself. It's pretty solid, well made. A lot of good reviews on this, so I went ahead and you know what, it's a little pricey, but I'm going to go ahead and spend the few extra dollars to get the really nice looking lever, PNW components. Let me throw this out as well. For those who go ahead and decide to order this on Amazon like I did, you want to make sure that when you order the dropper post and when you order the lever, that you actually order, if you get the no lever kit, which I ordered, I wanted the loam lever. So in order to do that on Amazon, I had to order the no lever kit. Otherwise I would have had extra lever. You save some money on that, but here's the problem. The loam lever ships only with the cable, not with the cable housing. So I got my stuff earlier this week and I'm like, get ready to put it in. So excited, get ready to go. And I pull it out and I'm like, where's the cable housing? There's no cable housing. So I can't put it in until I get the cable housing. I reached out to Chris at PNW. He apologized, said this is a problem with Amazon. He really quickly sent out a new cable housing, which I really appreciate. So I'm thankful for that. So I have the cable housing ready to go. Let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully I can put this in without messing up. Well, the nice thing with the quick release clamp is that it's easy to remove the seat and the seat post. That's the first step. We are done. Take a look inside. I'm gonna need to clean that a little bit because it's a little grimy. And there I noticed that when I put this back in, it's a little grimy. So let's just compare again the original seat post to the new Rainier. So there we go. There's the Rainier on the side. It's actually a little bit longer. That's why you have to make all those measurements to make sure you get it in correctly. So let's go ahead and just for kicks, slide it in and see how it goes. Yep, it has full clearance. Great, that's what I was afraid of, not afraid of. So it fits in perfectly. We got clearance. I was worried about because you have these two water cage bolts down here making clearance, so it fits in well. So no problems there. All right, so let's go ahead and take this back out and find out how to wire this. But you know what? First, we're going to go ahead and put the clamp on. The clamp's going to go on up here. So let's take a second to figure that out. So hopefully this is right. I have it installed. It feels like it should be pretty good. It might be in the way. We'll have to adjust it later. I've never had a dropper post before. I've never ridden one, so I have no idea what to expect. So, but it's at least on where it kind of needs to go. So what I need to do now is find the routing. Now the routing on this bike, its internal routing, actually is over here. So it drops in right here, if you can see it, and it runs down the length of the bike, and then it appears to actually come out right here, which I'm not exactly sure why. And then you have to go on the other side. So it comes out here and run down, and I believe go back up here. So we'll keep the derailleur cable there, but we'll go ahead and just use this, I guess. So we'll see. I wonder if I still do route it under or not. That is the question. I wonder if I go down and under and up, or if I go here and up. I feel it's probably gonna have to go down and under and then up. So we'll figure that out. So this might be completely because I have no idea what I'm doing. There is this internal routing right here, so I'm sitting there thinking that's for the dropper post, but this is not going in. So I am not sure exactly what needs to happen. That's either very well in the wrong place, which is possible. So I'm gonna have to take a look at that and see what I need to do. I would think that would be for the routing, but the cable housing is not going to fit. Now a cable will fit, but the cable housing itself will not fit. So I'm wondering if I need to cut the housing and get a special connector. I do not know. Unfortunately, there is not a lot online that is helpful. Now what I could do as well, and I'm not sure, I could route it here and then send it and run it down the outside of this bike to here, and then up. I think that's what I may end up having. All right, so I figured it out. It is internally routed, and I was able to get the cable in, so let me show you what I did. I went ahead and started from the bottom, right here. It does fit. There's a little piece that you kind of have to circumvent a little bit. That's in there. It's too hard to see. You just push it past that, and then I got up to here, and then this was the challenging part. Once you get up to here, you have to get the cable out. So what I did was just, once I got it, I could see the end here. Could see the end of the cable. And what I did is I stuck the nail right in there like this. And then I was able to keep it in there, and that way I was able to guide it out. So it came out. So we have success. So it's about halfway internally routed. So then we would have it, and it will take the bend there, and I have plenty of room, and now I'm just going to send it up the bottom. So we're looking good. Oh, this is awesome. So there's this little cap that goes right here on the end, and I put that on like that, but you know what happened? It fell, and it's down there somewhere. So I'm gonna have to take the bike off the stand and hopefully get that out. Otherwise, I'm gonna be having some difficulty. I'll be back. I got it. Thankfully, I was just flipped over the bike and it popped right out. So this is important because this attaches onto here, and then you have the wire in. The wire runs in. This actually sticks into the post, the dropper post a bit, to help secure it. So that is necessary. So glad I did not lose that. So what I'm going to do, I've seen some videos that actually they cut the cable first, but that's the part I am the most anxious about, is getting the cable right. So what I'm going to do is going to go ahead, or the cable housing, I'm going to go ahead and put the cable in, try to get it where I want it adjusted, and then I'll take the actual cable itself out and just cut the housing. So I'm a little anxious about that part because, you know, once you cut, you're done. So measure twice, cut once. That's the plan. So hopefully I'll be able to take care of that. A little more difficult today because my cameras, because it's so cold out here, have all died. So I'm having to resort to using the iPhone. But this will be routed in, pushed down like this, and then it actually sets. You hear that? It's actually set in there right now as it needs to be. There we go. So that's set in the way we want it. So let's go ahead and get this routing squared up, and we should be good to go. Well, the cut has been made. We'll find out very soon if it worked. Hopefully I am good. Otherwise, I'm going to be buying another cable. So let's give it a shot. All right, the cable is in. Now what I did is I greased the seat post pretty well, and I greased the cable so it's running through, down, comes out here. Fortunately, I nicked it up a bit there, the cable housing, trying to get it through, and it runs internally through and comes out here. And then I left just enough turn for 90 degrees, so the cable has enough to get around, so that's pretty good. I'll clean up the cables. Now it's run through the loam lever, and now I have to basically just tighten this screw and put the seat on. All right, so we are installed. Probably have to play around with location, but it seems pretty good for right now. Need to clean up my cables a bit, but push the button. Seats down, and pretty good reaction time. Seats down, lever, pretty good slide up. So that is it. PNW Rainier dropper post with loam lever installed. and time to ride.